If you're planning to buy the Toyota Fortuner in the Indian market, don't do that. Wait for a few months and you're going to thank me later on. Why? Well, this is why. This is the all-new Endeavour, or the Everest as it's called in a lot of markets globally. It's finally going to make a comeback into the Indian market. That is the confirmation news we're getting from a lot of sources. And before I start further on, a big thanks to Saurav from Nepal Drives and Geo Ford for letting me get this beast for a day for experience in Kathmandu in Nepal. I'm here to drive a few cars. The BYD Dolphin went live yesterday on my channel, and tomorrow I'll drive the MG4 EV as well. But the showstopper, the blockbuster, has to be this. A lot of people, a lot of Ford owners and Ford fans have been waiting for this to come back to the Indian market, and why not? It makes so much sense. Now, there is hardly in similarity with the earlier Ford Endeavour which was on sale in the Indian market. It's a new platform, it's a new design, new interiors, and of course the good old 2000cc bi-turbo diesel engine. Do not be fooled by the capacity because it puts out over 200 PS of power. Now, after this, I'm going to take the car for a spin to give you my opinion of the engine, the driving dynamics. The 10-speed automatic gearbox. Is the engine powerful enough for the big beast? All that comes at a later stage, but I could not wait to show you the car in person first. A lot has changed. The front is a completely new face, and this is the talking point. The way the DRLs are stacked over here, the twin lights on each ends, these are performance LEDs. So two over here and two on the other end. And of course, the fog lamps come on the lower part. The grille is massive. It looks so much like an American muscle SUV. Look at this. There is chrome as well because Indians and people globally, they love chrome, and you can make out it's got ADAS. The sensors are over here. Will this come to Indian market, ADAS or not? Well, that is speculative as of now, but I stand 6 feet tall and this is trying to dwarf me as well. That's the kind of size it carries. As compared to the earlier Endeavour, it's grown up in size as well. In fact, it's wider. They could have made it wider, but the plant in Thailand can only accommodate this. And look at this. If I open my arms, it is still a more wider SUV. And with the black color, it's got the mafia theme, the mafia look coming in. Just imagine if someone buys the car and goes for a de-chrome treatment with black windows. This will be a thing to see on Indian roads. What else? Well, on the side profile, you have these new look alloy wheels. These might not come to the Indian market. They are 20 inches. If they come, well, a big thumbs up to Ford for doing that. They are massive. They weigh, the width is 255 millimeters on 20-inch alloy wheels. Going further behind, you have the bi-turbo logo coming in. So you have two turbos in the engine, and that is why the kind of power and the torque it generates. And made it to a 10-speed automatic, it should do wonders. But wait for a few days, and in case you want to see the drive review and the driving performance point of view, you know what to do. Do subscribe and hit the bell icon as well. With the bell icon, you will get the notification of that video. If I move forward, everything is XL size, even the outside mirrors. Look at this huge outside mirrors on the Ford Endeavour or the Everest. You have the badging for the version. It's the top spec titanium version on sale. Will India get one or two versions? That is something we have to see. Factory fitted steps to walk inside the car. It's a big, huge car, huge ground clearance. So very useful for your kids or the elderly in the family. You come at the back, a huge glass area. Will that impact the interiors? I'll talk at a later stage. And again, the same kind of alloy wheels over here as well. The rear of the car has changed as well. You can make out the Everest branding comes in on this side. I'm sorry, the sun is very harsh. Excuse us for that. And look at this. This reminds me of the good old Ford Mustang. The way the lights are stacked, these are LEDs on this part and on this part. And this is a cool touch. The Everest branding is actually hidden inside a glass area. This looks so much more premium. If you are bored with the Fortuners of the world, you know what to do. Wait for a few months. And I see clever touches. If you come closer on this part of the windshield, look at this. You have the Everest sketching. You can make out the Mount Everest, and on the left side you have the urban jungle. So it's meant for both urban usage as well as heading out to the hills. That is what this one can do. So is it manageable in traffic conditions? How is the ride quality? How is the engine performance, the NVS levels? All that comes at a later stage. I had to show you the car as well. So it's grown up in size. Look at this. I'm standing right over here. I'm 6 feet tall with a healthy build, and it is sort of dwarfing me. I'm so happy to have this car with me in Thailand. What next? A quick look at the interiors as well, because the interiors of the car are completely new. What has changed? Let's step inside. So this is the key fob for the new Ford Endeavour or the Everest. And look at this. This is an all-new concept. The design will remain same from the Indian market, but a few things might change. For example, the color of the upholstery or the dash materials. Indian market might get a proper leather treatment for that premium appeal, because the segment has a few rivals coming in. On the soft roaders, we have the Skoda Kodiaq as well. You have the MG Gloucester, very capable. You have the Ford Endeavour. So for Indian market, this color theme or the leather will change. What will not change is the huge screen coming in the center stage. This is the talking point over here. Look at this. It's a huge screen, and the touch reception, like most Ford cars, is up there with the best. I've not connected the phone as of now. Under the screen, you have your buttons for the climate control, and I do love the physical buttons. And if you look closely, look at this. The craftsmanship is superb. It feels very nice to hold. And then the Everest has always been known to have a lot of cubby holes and places to keep your knickknacks. I'll start with the upper glove box. So you have some kind of storage space like this to put a couple of phones or your wallet. If I open this part, excuse us for this, you have a sizable glove box coming in. If I close this, if I press this, you have a cup holder which you can use with the AC vent for the chilling purpose. Here you have places to keep one phone and two phones. A couple of phones can go on the inside. This is an all new gear lever. Short, sweet, does the job very well. Then a couple of cup holders are coming in over here with these inserts, so they will keep your cups in place. Then the powered park button comes over here, so no physical handbrake, and of course your buttons and knobs to go between various drive modes, to 4x2, 4H, 4 low, and the sand mode and the sun modes coming in, and a sizable armrest with storage space. It's a huge place to even park a few cans on the inside, and a 12-volt charging outlet. So I'll put this back over here. Another highlight has to be this, the display behind the steering wheel. Steering is not really flat bottom, but it's a proper Ford steering with all your buttons. This is the buttons are for the ADAS system coming in. On the right side is to control what you see on the display. For example, trip A is on right now. Ignore the fuel economy figures. We are in an off-road location. I have the time, temperature gauges over here, a distance to empty, and if I start the car, your tachometer will come to life as well. To start the vehicle, of course, you have a proper push button start located on the right side. If I start this, now you can make out my door is open, and even then the diesel is not too rough and not too loud. For now, I will close this, and even for the driver, you have a proper area to park your beverage, your can or your glass. What else is different? This is a new design for your AC vents. Goes in sync with the overall theme. And if you want to see, there is a huge panoramic sunroof. But for now, the phone goes back to Abhay, who has been shooting me here for the last few days. Seats need a special mention. I stand 6 feet tall with a healthy build. They feel nice. On this particular model, you don't have the seat ventilation for the Nepali market. The cars have come from Thailand, but for the Indian market, seat ventilation will definitely come in. No Ford logo, but the overall bolstering, the overall shape of the seat definitely is nice. You can see there are buttons for your powered seat coming in for both the driver and co-driver. So the power function remains, but for the Indian market, your seat ventilation will come in. For the Indian market, leather will come in. A few light colored materials might also come in for an airiness on the inside, but this thing is what matters in terms of driver cockpit for the driver, and this is job well done. Even on the door pads, you can see there are aluminum inserts. On the upper part, you have for the door locking and unlocking. Then you grab handle with the aluminum inserts, and down you have enough place to keep a couple of bottles as well. So this is a good job, and you do move around with your family members in that regard. How is the space in the second row? I'll do one thing. I'll adjust this seat for my height. I'll go into the back seat and show you that. But before that, I just noticed, look at this. These are open airy spaces with lighter elements. So just adds to the sporty appeal and the sporty touch. And to get inside this massive vehicle, you have grab handles on both the ends for the driver as well as for the co-driver on the left side. So if your wife or your mom or your kids want to enter the beast, they will need to use this in the right manner. So time now to go to the second row. This is the space at the back for tall people. So a tall driver driving the Endeavour and a tall passenger, good amount of space for your headroom because of the sunroof panel. I'm still I still have a couple of inches left, decently good. The AC vents, like the earlier Endeavour, are on the top part, so this is where your AC vents come into the picture. They are not present on the lower part, which is a conventional thing, but only on this part. Having the AC vents there on this part could have been an added bonus for markets like India. Of course, you can control the flow from the rotary dial right over here, and a big thing, you have up to 400-watt max usable output over here. Very, very useful for charging your devices or your laptop on the move. And then of course a USB and a C type coming in this part. If you notice closely, the seats are also scooped out, so in case you sit with your knees closed, you have even more amount of space coming in for tall passengers seated at the back. It's an SUV, so of course the floor is not completely flat. There is a hump over here, but nevertheless there is ample room because of the extra width for this to be a proper 5-seater. In case using the car as a 4-seater, sizable armrest, and these basically pop out again to keep your cups or your cans in place on a long drive. The interiors definitely have an overly black feel for the Indian market. If they can experiment with lighter colors, the airiness will come in. Of course, you have a huge panoramic sunroof for the visibility on the inside. Now, these seats are split in 60/40. I can take them ahead and back separately for the reach and for the angle as well. And thankfully, you have proper 1, 2, 3, 5 headrest. So it is a proper safe place. Even for 5 people, you have your headrest coming in over here. At the back, well, it's time for me to jump into the last row. It is usually best for kids or for small adults, but I want to still show you the last row of the Ford Everest. Basically, as expected, it is only best for your kids or adults who are 5'8" or 5'9", not for me. My knee is currently touching the back side and I can't really take this inside. It is a tight place for tall adults, but that is the case with any SUV with a third row. However, if you are here, a few good plus points. You have your AC vents right over here, and they can be controlled from the knob I showed you a while back. You have a light coming in over here. For charging needs, you have an outlet of 12 volt. Let me show you this one, and then your place to keep your cup and your mobiles on this part. The speaker also comes in, and the view from here will be like this if the sunroof shade is out. So it also has that feature where you can have the key into your pocket. You walk to the car for a proper keyless access to the boot. Apart from this, look at the space. So the last row is only for kids, I agree, but with that in place, you can have a couple of medium-sized suitcases coming in over here for your long trips. If I take this up, you have more space to hide something, and of course, your normal tools which you might require during a tire change operation. The tire basically is under the floor like an MPV in the Indian market. On the side, I also noticed more space to keep a couple of salt bags and one more party trick. You see these two buttons over here? If you press them, the last row will fold in a powered manner. And of course, if your work is done, you just close the boot and there you go. I'll do one thing. The lights are now, I think, on. You can make out these are on. The pattern is nice. Earlier they were not nice, and at dark this is the deciding factor for a wow look at the back when you overtake people. So I can't wait to get behind the wheel to tell you about the diesel engine. A lot of people question me, it's only 2000 cc. How is the performance and the power? Well, let's see. Let's hit the road to give you an idea of the driving behavior, the driving dynamics, the engine performance, the 10-speed gearbox, and the overall appeal. Should I be finally and totally recommending this car to you over the rivals? Wait for that video, and for the notification, you know what to do. Do subscribe and hit the bell icon as well. And if any question about the car, ask me in the comment section below. Thank you for watching.